everyone. Today let's talk about linear inequation. As the very name suggests, the word linear means straight line. So obviously it is going to be an equation of a straight line. However, this term inequation means it is definitely not going to have an equal to sign. It can have lesser than, greater than, less than equal to, greater than equal to. These are the signs of inequations. Alright, now let's take an example and try to understand what do we mean by linear inequation and how should we solve a given problem. First, let's just read the question given to us. An integer is such that 1/3 of the next integer is at least 2 more than 1/4 of the previous integer. Find the smallest value. I hope every one of you know what an integer is. And you're also aware how do we solve or identify a variable in linear equation. We'll do the same in case of linear inequation as well. Therefore, let's consider that the first integer, an integer, let that integer be x. So let's write, let the integer be x. Alright, so what does that mean? We have already considered this part and we have identified the variable. So the variable is defined for us. Okay. Now moving forward, it is said that it is such that 1/3 of the next integer. Now before we move on to 1/3 of the next integer, let's first identify how can we define the next integer. Therefore, the next integer is definitely going to be x plus 1. I hope you all agree with me on that, right? And it is said that 1/3 of the next integer, which means if I have to take 1/3 of the next integer, we should be getting a value x plus 1 by 3. I hope that is fine. Now it is said that is at least 2 more than 1/4 of the previous integer. Now before we do anything, let's try to determine and identify the previous integer. So let's write the previous integer in terms of x. That is nothing but x minus 1. It's just the previous number. So let's say if we take numbers, if 2 is my number, the integer, then the previous integer is 1 and the next integer is 3, which means if I add 1 with 2, I get the next integer. If I subtract 1 from 2, I get the previous integer. That's exactly what we have done over here. And it is also said that 1/4 of the previous integer. Now let's try to incorporate that. 1/4 of previous integer, which means x minus 1 by 4. Now let's try to find out or determine what is the inequation going to look like. Therefore, according to the problem, as we always write in a linear equation as well, we do very much similar to that. It is said that 1/3 of the next integer is, what do we mean by the word is? at least is at least. That means it is going to be at least that much or more than that. Okay. When it is said at least, that means it cannot be less than that value. It has to be at least that minimum value and in fact more than that. Therefore, we would use the sign greater than equal to. So what does that mean? We can write 1/3 of the next integer, that is, as we have already defined over here, x plus 1 by 3 is at least. So we have given the sign. Now let's move on to the next part, 2 more than. So 2 more than means 2 plus, right? And it is written that 2 more than 1/4 of the previous integer, which we have already defined as x minus 1 by 4. Now, very similar to the way we solve a linear equation, we are going to solve a linear inequation as well. What do? We will have to ensure that the subject of the formula, which is x, should be on the left hand side and all the integer values are on the right hand side. Okay. So what should we do? We keep this entire expression intact. We bring the other expression, which is also in the term of x, to the left hand side. Now since there is a plus sign over here, it becomes minus. So it becomes x minus 1 by 4 greater than equal to 2. Alright. Now, very simple. We are going to take the LCM of 3 and 4, which is 12, which means 4 into x plus 1 minus 4 into 3 is 12, which means 3 into x minus 1. That is greater than equal to 2. Right? Now what we can do is we can simply take 12, since it is divided on the left hand side. If we take it on the right hand side, it would be nothing but multiplication. So we can directly write 4x plus 4 minus 3x. I'm sure you understand, minus minus it is plus. So it is plus 3 greater than equal to 2 into 12, which is 24. Alright. Now, let's move to this space over here. After this part, we move to the space over here. Okay. So 4x minus 3x is nothing but x. Okay. Plus 4 plus 3 is nothing but plus 7 greater than equal to 24. Okay. Now, what do we do is x is greater than equal to 24 minus 7. As we know that the subject of the inequation, which is x, should be on the left hand side. Every integer should be on the right hand side, which is what we are doing over here, which gives us the solution as x should be at least 24 minus 7 is nothing but 17. So the smallest value, they said the smallest value. So the smallest value should at least be 17 or more than that. So that is exactly what we mean by the word linear inequation. I hope you have enjoyed today's session. We'll meet next time. Thank you.